Good morning, everyone. Actually, good afternoon, everyone. I got to rearrange my thinking too, right? Since we are now at noon on Tuesdays. I'll give you a minute to find me. Hey, Corinne, thank you. I almost thought it wasn't going to connect today, but it did. So that's a good thing. Hey, Julie, good to see you. We actually are in the 40s today, so I'm excited about that. The cold weather. We'll be back, I'm sure. It is only January, but I'll take a couple of days at 40. Just give everybody a minute to find me. If you're hopping on, say hi so we know you're here. Hey, Deborah, good to see you. Hello, Melinda. All right. Looks like this is a good time. So let's jump in. These were the cards we did just last week, I believe. Our little barn door card, right? So much fun. And then this is a wedding card where we use the ephemera pack. And that marbled elegance paper is just so pretty. So the winner of these is Melinda Blevins. Congratulations, Melinda. Thank you for watching and commenting and thumbs up and subscribing and all that good stuff. I'm gonna do my best to get these out for you. I'm actually gonna recruit my husband. I took a really bad fall yesterday thanks to one of our cats. I didn't trip over him, but he caused me to fall. So I'm trying to stay on one floor as much as I can. So, but I will see that I can get these into his hands um, tonight, and then he can pop them in the mail for you tomorrow so that you get them before Valentine's Day. Oh, that's wonderful, Deborah. Good for you. Thank you. You're in the 30s in New York. Okay, it's getting warmer. Thank you guys for sharing. I so appreciate that. All right, so today, let's see, I don't think I have any other housekeeping right now. It was a quiet week. Even our meeting with SU yesterday was pretty quiet. I will just remind you one last time, these are the just cards for this month. This is a cute little fun fold too. I know we like the fun folds. Uh-oh, something got spilt on my sample. We'll have to fix that. And then these. So again, you can earn the PDF for these projects with a minimum $35 product order on my website using the host code. Or you can earn the kits with a $45 minimum product order on my website using the host code. And there's an in-person class if you're local, but we mail them. For those of you that aren't, obviously you will also get the PDF with the $45 product order. And we just ask for $5 postage to get those to you to cover some of the um, expenses. Hey, Betty. Hello, Corinne. Oh yeah, it is. Ouch. I went down, and when I went, I felt something in my ankle snap and have tremendous brush burn on my one knee that is killing me. And I actually took the door on our screen and porch out with my head. I hit the frame with the top of my head, and Rick says the top of my head is all messed up. I can't see it, and I'm certainly not trying to brush my hair away. So we'll see. I am not someone who runs to a doctor, so we're going to see if I can survive whatever's going on with my ankle. I think it's probably just I might have torn a ligament. I've done it before. I fell one time really bad at work on the ice and tore a ligament, and that took years to get right. So you're going to be in the 50s. I'm jealous, Julie. I'm so jealous. I'm ready for the 50s, but we're not quite there yet. We'll get there. We will get there. Okay, so apparently I am in love with the online exclusives and not even realizing it because I'm just grabbing sets to play with that I want to play with. But Happy Hibiscus is one of our online exclusives. It's been out there for a little while now. It has the stamp set. Of course, it has the dies. This is my new attempt at storing my dies with the stamps and not having to have all the rubber bands that my cats like to chew up and spit out. So the die set, and then it also has the 3D embossing folder like that. So it is a really nice bundle. It makes beautiful cards. And so I've got 3 of those to share with you today. A couple, I think there's 2 fun folds in here. And then I'm calling it a technique. You probably have already seen this. I've probably done it for you, but we're gonna do it again today. So here's our first one. Okay, I love this little label. Anybody know where that label comes from? I was going to have to ask you all on the live today because I thought perhaps I wasn't going to find it in time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't break anything. Thank God. I mean, again, if I did, it's a small bone, and I don't think I did because I can stand flat and I can actually use my heel to come down. Like I had to get to my studio this morning and Rick was not home, so that was a little scary because I was the whole way up on the 2nd floor. Um, so, and my studio's in our basement. But it's just a certain way I turn my ankle. If I go pull my toes back towards my shin, I feel a twinge, but I don't think that's broken. I think that's muscular ligament. So I think I'll limp around for a while, but won't be doing a lot of steps for a long time, I don't think. Oh, in the 60s with rain. Yeah, well, I'd take the rain, Corinne. That would be all right if I was in the 60s. Yes, you're right, Julie. It is going to take a while. But yeah. So anyway, okay. Enough of the fall. That was just me trying to explain why I'm going to do my best to get those Valentine cards out. So we are going to do this one first, and then I have 2 more. And this one, I did the embossing on the background basic white with the 3D folder. But it needed a little color, right? That would be pretty boring if it was back there. So I'm not going to use my blending brush because I don't want color places that I don't necessarily want it. But this is a 3D, so it's nice and raised, right? So I'm going to take my ink pad over, and I'm very lightly dragging it over those embossed areas, right? Trying just to catch the edges of the flowers and a little bit of the sprinkles. And you can keep going for as long or as little as you like. But I just wanted a little bit of color back there. And I think I'm going to stop. So there we go. We got a little bit of depth to that embossing by doing that, as well as we just added a little bit of color behind. So let's grab the rest of our pieces here. I did it obviously with our classic ink pads, with a craft ink pad, which right now I think the only craft pad we offer is white. But if you were going to do that on dark cardstock and you wanted to add the white to it, you want to be even have a lighter touch because the craft ink is much wetter. And it will bleed into places that you may not want it if you get a lot on there. So there is, and now I can figure out, I think we're going to go this way. That can go right on our card front. It's amazing what you can do with layers too, right? Just layering the colors together and then adding that hint of lemon lolly. Did I say daffodil delight earlier? It's lemon lolly. And then I did our trick, right? I cut our label out of this layer, which you're not going to see because I have embossed the basic white that's going to go on there with the Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder. So both of the embossing folders were 3D. So if you're working with 3D embossing folders, you know that the sandwich is just the base platform if you're working with our die cutting machines, and the specialty plate. So that could be a gray plate or an acrylic blue plate, depending upon when you got your specialty plate. And yes, the blue specialty plate will work with our current stamp and emboss, or stamp and die cut. Emboss and die cut. I'll get it right in a minute. I can't even blame it on pain meds because I don't have any. There we go. So there's our card base. Now I went ahead and I did, if I can pick them up, I did all the little leaves that we're going to need, hopefully. So I've got all our leaves already done. And this was just Mossy Meadow for the outline. And then our two-step stamp by off stamping that same Mossy Meadow ink to put it as our fill. Okay. So there are our leaves. I'm just going to move the mat over here a little bit so you can see that. And I can't pick anything up today. I also went ahead, like you saw, and die cut that label. Probably not the smartest thing I've ever done because it's going to be really tiny to hold on to now. So we're going to go ahead and do that embossing. And I'm just going to take my embossing buddy right over the front. We are looking for our Wow white embossing. That's clear. And this is opaque bright white. So I'm going to set these other ones aside. We don't need those. Yeah, I need to do that, Joy. I haven't done that. I scared myself pretty bad, I have to admit. Because I knew as soon as it happened I was going to go down. And I'm holding one of the cats. So I don't even know where he landed. I just threw him because I didn't want to land on him. So I just tossed him aside so he wouldn't get hurt. And yeah, it was fun. All right, guys, I'm going to move this closer to me because I have a new light, which I think works well, but I truly cannot see anything because of the glare that I'm experiencing. That'll work. Now we're going to use these fabulous little tongs that come in our embossing kit. But yeah, I actually ended up, it was like, I don't know, right around 4 o'clock. And sometimes my husband comes home at 4 and sometimes my husband comes home at 6:30. So I called him and I said, when are you leaving? And he said, oh, in a couple minutes. I'm like, could you do it now? Because I'm not sure what I might have done to myself. All right. So we've got the embossing. We're just going to heat set that. And that will be ready. I really like this set. And I had a couple of other ideas to do with it, but I had to stop. If you heat emboss, and you have not gotten the new Wow embossing powders, I wasn't going to get them because I still have so many of my other embossing powders, but I'm so glad that I did because, well, that's interesting. My bag is empty and I don't have any white cardstock. So let me grab a couple pieces. I can tell a difference in the richness, brightness, whatever you want to call it, of after you heat set it. So the cool thing about this stamp is this outline image is all one. The sad thing about this stamp, and I am going to call Stamping Up, is these little attachments are very thin, especially the one right there. And mine did tear. I was able to put a small piece of Scotch tape on it to hold it in place, but that's wearing off as I use it. So I'm going to have to figure something else out. Pumpkin pie is our outline. And since I am not a real, like, living flower person, I had no idea if these color combinations are good for hibiscus or not, but I thought they were pretty. So that's what we did. There we have that. And then each one of the flowers has a separate stamp to do the fill with, or the two-step. And again, this is Lemon Lolly that I'm using. And this does, for somebody with better sight than I have, this does line up very easily. And I say that because it lines up pretty easily for me. So there's our first one. Pretty, no, maybe not. The trick is finding the right. Got it. I look for the petals that have something like sticking out or unique to it. That helps you line it up quicker. And then our little guy. There we go. So those line up, as I said, pretty well. This is going to be the inside of our card. So that little, I don't even know if I finished my sentence, but the little die cut, the Hello Friend die cut, comes from Mixed Labels. This is a brand new set. Look at these. I love all those cute little labels. I actually bought it for the dies. And then I get mad at myself when I just buy the dies and I'm like, oh, I should have gotten the stamp. So I've decided from now on I'm just buying the bundle. But I love all those dies. Cute little leaf, little detail, image, nice long label, and some with some fancy edges on. You can see I have not mounted my entire stamp set yet. I'm one of those girls that does it as she goes until she's ready to put it in the retreat house. And then, darn it, now I have all these to mount. It's kind of the way it rolls for me. So we're going to grab the die to die cut these. And this is going to line up fairly well, even though it is torn. I think I did get it back in place pretty well. So I'm just going to go over to my machine real quick and do this. Yeah, it still lines up pretty well. So you can see it lines up very nicely. And then these pop out individually. And you could even use this as a mask and create a blender brush background and then stamp your um, outline stamp down on top of it. And that would be really cool too. There's always fun things you can do to get a different, just a little bit different look, right? All right, let me get this out of the way. My plates are well loved, as you can see. And we're going to start with our center flower. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. And put my leaves on here. And then I'm going to come back with a little bit more adhesive just to make sure they stay in place. And I did not pop these. These are just mounted like so. This little guy. They like to stick to my fingers. I need more adhesive because that leaf took it all up on the back. That's going to go right there. Those little leaves moved when I did that. There we go. And then our last one. If I get my orientation right here. There we go. I'm going to use one large and one small for this guy. Combo would work well here as well. There we go. And I left this guy over a little bit so we'd have room to come in and put our greeting on. Now, I've got a couple extra layers on the left side as you're looking at that. So I'm just going to snip off a little bit of my bones here and put it on the back right side so that the greeting is even, right? So we've got the adhesive or the dimensional on one side, and we'll put some adhesive on the side that's going on. And now that is a much more even than it would be. This side would be kind of slanting down if we didn't add that dimensional up there. So there is the front of our card. And then for the inside, I did use a greeting from the Mixed Labels stamp set. And I used Mossy Meadow, which I'm also using in another kit. So let me grab that. Just a note to let you know you're on my mind. And if we wanted to, and I'm going to do this on another card, so I won't necessarily do it here. You can take this guy and stamp. Even the little guy will fit in there. You can flip it around, although it would probably be upside down. You'd want to do it in the top corner if you wanted to add the large guy. But you can add an additional flower on the inside, or you can stamp it and die cut it again and add a die cut flower in there if you would like to add a little more interest in your inside your card. And there we go. There is the first project. I'm going to stick that leaf up there in case I decide I need it later. Oh, that's weird, Carol. Well, hello and welcome. All right, so there's our first one. Let me do a little cleanup here, especially on the flowers, because we're going to need them again, I think. I need to refill my mist, huh? I always say I need that sous chef, right? The one who does all the cleanup for you. That would be fabulous. Chefs get to have them. Why don't we? All right, let me grab the next kit. So this one we actually did in my club. I think it was just last month, or maybe it was this month even. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad you like it. All right, how about this guy? Here's our fun fold, or one of our fun folds, because we have two. I love this, and I cannot remember the name of the type of card. So if anybody knows what this fun fold is called, I don't know, is it a joy fold? It might be a joy fold. Those usually go this way, so I just changed the orientation of it, but might be a joy fold card. Gorgeous Grape and Granny Apple Green are the stars of our show for this project. And it's just a 5.5 by 8.5 card base, scored at 4.25, and then cut on the diagonal from the score line to the bottom right corner. I'm going to give that a little extra love. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap because we're going to do a little color addition to our embossed piece. Okay. This I'm going to use the blending brush and some fresh freesia with. And light is always better when you start, you notice that I always start off because I don't want to have that blob of ink that you're most often going to get when you first set your brush down, if you set it right down on your project piece. I think we might be good. What do you think? I don't want it real dark. I just wanted to add a little bit of color. I like that. Diagonal joy fold. Okay, we'll go with that, Judy. I like that. Awesome. There's a yellow hibiscus out there. That's good to know. Well, like I said, I am so not. I am such a disappointment to my mother-in-law because she's a huge flower lady, and I'm not. They're pretty to look at, but yeah, no. All right, so we're gonna add this to our front. There we go. And then we have 2 pieces of basic white, and one is literally just a liner for the inside of our card. So we'll go ahead and mount that. Okay. I'm going to lay that piece aside for a minute. I'm going to bring in our label. Look, I cut myself 2 just in case I needed them. And I'm going to grab the Enjoy Your Day, which is from Thoughtful Expressions. And if you watched me Sunday night over on Facebook, this was the MIA stamp set that I could not find anywhere. And I am way too embarrassed to tell you where I found it. So I got another purple lover. I'm a purple lover for sure. Oh, I thought I separated them. Apparently I have 3 labels just in case. Trying to make that straight to give me a better shot of being straight. That's not too bad. We have the option. Let's try it one more time. We aren't going to do all 3. It's this one or that one. It also seemed a little light, so I'm like, that's better. That's better. Okay. So this is one of the die cuts that has the little detail on the ends, and that is in the Happy Hibiscus. So we're just going to line that up like so. Well, that's not lined up very well, is it? There we go. All right, now we're going to bring in our smaller fold. This again is just our background. And I could have embossed that like I did on the first project. I used the 2 different embossing folders. You can absolutely mix and match your embossing folders on your projects. Find 2 that you think complement each other. This time I'm just going to leave it like that. We don't need that, and we don't need that. And I've got a leaf. Actually, I have all 3 leaves pre-cut. And I actually, since I showed you how to do the flowers, I'm going to go ahead and use these flowers that I did earlier. So we can keep moving. Especially if you're on your lunch break, right? And yep, I flipped it over and used the other side. Oh, shoot. You got it, right? There's no reason not to. Now, these I also mounted flat, but where I needed to, like with this guy, I did add a little bit of depth. So we're going to go ahead and mount him in the bottom right corner. just like so. And then this little guy, most of this leaf is going to disappear underneath everything else. Actually, I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And then stick that on there. And that is going to, I should not have put as much adhesive on there as I did. See if I can lift that. Nope. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out after we get this guy ready. That, and then this is going to come out down. Whoops. Down here. There we go. So how much of that guy? There we go. That'll work. We just want a little bit of that green peeking out. So I think we're going to be fine there. I am going to grab dimensionals again to pop him up with. Oh, that's good information. Oh, we got a lot of purple lovers. No, it's worse than that. I found it directly on the counter behind me. Now, I spent a good hour that day looking for that stamp set before I went live. Is that not pathetic? Is that not pathetic? Oh, I'll tell you, some days you just wonder why you got out of bed. Although I have found things not necessarily, yeah, not necessarily stamp related, but I have found my keys in the refrigerator or my sunglasses because I reach in to get my water bottle and yeah. So now that's funny because that definitely fits. There we go. That's what we're sticking with. And then this guy, I'm just going to shimmy down here a little bit and add him. So we have just a little bit of green showing there. We're also going to pop our greeting. That's when I was working full time and doing stamping full time. Which that became a true chat. Well, that was pre-pandemic. So I wasn't doing lives pre-pandemic. A lot of us weren't doing lives pre-pandemic. But the pandemic kind of forced us if we wanted to stay in touch with our crafty friends, we needed to do that. So, okay. So on this project, I did do the corner. So we're going to bring back in, get this off the table. I'm always impressed when I can find the lid. Anybody else? When you can find the lid to your, take your pick today. Crazy. Tis crazy. Let me grab Granny Apple Green. And we're going to stamp happy birthday on there. Oh, which decided it wanted to mount crooked. So here's another trick for you that I do. And I don't know how you mount your stamps. A lot of times I mount them with my hands. But when I have a long stamp like this and I want it to try to be as straight as I can, I take the block to the stamp rather than trying to put the stamp on the block. It just seems to work better for me. Doesn't mean I'll stamp it straight, mind you. But I at least have a better shot than if I try doing it alone. I think with a bum foot, it's a great time for me to re-ink my ink pads too. That's always a job that takes a long time. Okay, so on the inside, I am going to stamp the medium size in the Gorgeous Grape outline, right? And again, you can do this so that your die cutting it, I just stamped it just a little bit off the paper, which will work out fine. Did you? Yeah, I said as soon as I got it, this isn't going to last long, but I've been blessed. Now I'll lose every one of them. Watch. But yeah, I've been real lucky. All right, let's see. There we go. There is a decorative flower on the inside. Like I said, you can die cut those or you can do them this way, whichever you prefer. This is going to go on the inside of our card. All right. And then we're going to bring this back in. This out of the way. So I'm going to put adhesive on the very back of this. You can also use tear and tape or Seal Plus. I am not a Seal Plus user. I tear too much stuff when I'm using Seal Plus. So before I press that into place, I want to make sure it's straight. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to flip it over and just make sure I have good contact all over the back. Okay. And then the purple gems. This is part of celebration. So we're going to add some purple gems. You can get this free with a $60 order. And there are going to be some more goodies coming, or so we've been told, next month. So make sure if you're like, oh, I've got everything I want. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, so we're going to grab some. I know they call this purple. To me, it looks white, but it was the perfect accent for the center of those flowers. This is the medium size because apparently we used all the large ones up in club this past month. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you. Okay, that's project number 2. One more. And that one looks a little bit like this. And it's another fun fold. And this is the new Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. This is a 6x6 pack. There's 12 different patterns, double-sided patterns in there, and you get 4 of each, 48 sheets. So let's make this one. And here I really took advantage of all those beautiful die cuts that are in the set, in the bundle. So I've already done these as well, because once you see me do them, you're probably good, right? And, uh-oh. Well, I have a missing leaf, I think. Oh, no, it's there. Okay. So, basic beige. I am a huge, who else likes basic beige? Drop me a comment. Do you like basic beige? I love basic beige. And I don't know why, because I didn't like very vanilla. So this is a 5.5 by 8.5. And then I scored the front flap at 2 1/8. We're going to fold that back on itself. I did not like berry vanilla. I used it in the fall, and that was about it. I know lots of people did or do. I don't know why I'd say I didn't like it. It's still around. It's just the envelopes that retired. But this pattern of paper goes beautifully. And I think basic beige is one of the colors in the Timeless Plaid. So coordinates lovely. Let's do it this way so I'm sure I'm lined up at the top and bottom. Okay. And And then I have, again, we're going to layer up the inside of our card. It just adds a little pop. And I don't often do it because I do know it adds to the weight when you're mailing your cards if you have extra layers on the inside. But I felt like this one needed it. Okay, so I have the labels cut. We're going to build our focal image. And this time we're just using two of the flowers. Using lots of leaves, and we're even bringing in those cute little keep wanting to put them on upside down. No. The cute little yellow flowers, right? So we've got two of the smaller ones, and here I am going to bring in some glue because it's just going to make life so much easier. Oh, good. Melinda loves it. Right, I know, Judy. That's it. I wasn't so sure either. Oh, Julie, you got to give it a try. I think one of the reasons I like it is a neutral, but it gives us, ooh, it gives us the weight of our cardstock, right? All right, so we've got that one there. And I'm going to put the other little guy down here, like so. And now I'm bringing in another leaf that's in the Happy Hibiscus. This one's a little different. And we're going to tuck that guy right there. We'll come back to this one. And this one. And then I need to put some adhesive over on this side. And our big, make sure you got the front facing. The front actually has a little detail in the petals. So that's how you can easily tell the front from the back. We'll bring in one more leaf here, and then we'll place that little flower once we have this on our piece. Uh-oh, no. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go down here in the corner of the label, and I am going to add it with dimensionals. Hopefully there's more dimensionals in my drawer. And there are. It faked me out. I thought there were. Yeah. And there aren't. All right, I've got some pieces and parts we can use. It's not like I don't have 20 packs of them sitting across the room from me. And normally I'd run over and grab one, not today. All right. And then just a little piece over here on this guy. Just helps keep everything together too. All right. It looks quite messy from the back, doesn't it? Lots and lots of pieces there. Put him down at an angle. And then this little guy is going to need a piece too. Ooh. Now, I just did everything wrong. Do you know why? What did I do wrong? I didn't stamp it before I mounted that on there. That's what I did wrong. This one's your favorite? This one was pretty good, I have to say. I really liked the colors in this one. And it was I don't know if I told you, but I used Calypso Coral for the outline full strength and then off stamped it to do the inside. So we're gonna hope. Oh, that came out perfect. Never mount all those goodness pieces on there before you do your stamping, right? Because we can flip it over if it doesn't come out well. Oh, sorry. That was my husband probably calling to check on me. Totally forgetting I have a life. So just halfway across the back so that we do not seal the card closed. And then on the inside, I just added a piece of that basic beige again. And I left it blank because a lot of times for thinking of view cards, people like to write a message that's specific to the situation. So I tend to leave. I would probably say more often I leave the inside of a thinking of you card blank than I do stamp it. And there we go. There is the last project with Happy Hibiscus. I'm going to close my glue before I'm mad at myself. So let me bring the other two back in and you can tell me which one's your favorite. There's our purple. And then there is our, so there you go. I really like this set. I think there's a lot more you can do with it. But I thought those were fun. Couple fun folds. Hopefully I gave you some tips and tricks while we were chatting there, especially dragging your ink pad across a 3D embossed piece of cardstock because that will bring out the relief imagery. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all the love, the shares, the thumbs up, the subscriptions if you're not already a subscriber. I like this noon time frame, so I think we're going to stick here until I run into a wall. That means I can't. And but I will still be live Sunday nights at 8 over on my Facebook page. So make sure you hop over there and join us on Sunday nights as well. You like the last one best? Oh, thank you. Awesome. I was going to say, I know I got some purple lovers out there. You gotta like the purple one. All right, have a fabulous day. Stay warm. Enjoy the warmer temperatures if you're experiencing them. And I will see you the next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.